Everybody, welcome to the Get Healthy Brand webinar series. Tonight we have our very special guest, and I'm super excited because I love bioenergetics and everything that it represents in natural health. Tonight we have Harry Massey, and our webinar is going to be harnessing the bioenergetic principles, cutting-edge research, and practical applications with Zenergy. So this is going to be incredible. I have a few quick updates for everybody, and then I'm going to pass it to our wonderful speaker. So let me just grab this slideshow real quick so that I can update you on the new fun and exciting things happening here at Get Healthy. And just for those watching, my name is Tracy Straub. I am the Chief Health and Growth Officer right here at Get Healthy Stores. So if you need anything, have any questions about the webinar this evening, you can reach out to me and or the marketing team. So find us at these following events. It's going to be an incredible time at Mindshare Leadership Summit. If you haven't signed up for this, please do. We'll provide some details in the chat, as well as our Zenergy conference. This is, of course, going to be the best one, I feel, Harry, but it's October
By
3rd through
far.
5th. By far. Yeah, absolutely.
Oh,
And then Nutritional Frontiers will be heading there in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, October 18th through the 20th. I will be speaking at two of the seminars and also doing a business builders there with Get Healthy featured. And of course, PLMI. This is a great event happening October 26th through 27th in California. So if you can join us there, we would love to have you. And I'm truly sorry that I can't be at Zenergy, but I'm going to be there in spirit, of course. So, Court, our blog, this is our latest and greatest release by our marketing department. This is an incredible resource for you. Please check out this latest article on the affiliate marketing to protect your business and profits. It is the underlying theme to why we have created the Get Healthy platform, so that everything comes back to you as the practitioner, your brand, your store, the products that you know, like, and trust. So without further ado, I'd like to introduce our speaker, Harry Massey from NES Health. He is a leading bioenergetic expert, speaker, and entrepreneur who has significantly advanced the field of bioenergetics, the study of energy and living systems. He is the founder of NES Health, XPO Health, and Energy for Life. He has pioneered the development cutting-edge technologies that help people measure, manage, and master their energy, promoting self-healing and wellness. So I'm so excited that you're here. Sometimes conversations are more authentic, and really, as a practitioner myself, I want to know all about these fancy devices and what you do. So I've been introduced to your technology and also your infoceuticals, also the NES Health device, which I think is amazing. And this seems like to be the next trend in healthcare. So can you just give me a little background? What is bioenergetics?
so yeah, bioenergetics, it basically stands for the study, detection, and correction of energy in living systems. And there's really two main principles. One is how you can restore your energy, or if you like, recharge your body battery. And of course, we exchange energy through breathing in oxygen, breathing out carbon dioxide, obviously eating food, getting light, photons, and infrared heat through the skin. But the more important principle there is obviously you're exchanging energy with your environment, but then there's also another exchange of energy between your blood and your cells end up basically charging themselves. And there's various sort of millivolt, but like when cells are between like 70 and 90 millivolts, they're basically in a healthy state. When they're between like 40, 60, or 40 to 70, a lot of diseases occur. And when they're below 40, in most cases, people have cancer, and they're on the on the way out. And so it's really, really important to be able to basically recharge and charge your body's battery, and make sure your cells are able to hold enough charge. And that really leads us to the second principle in bioenergetics, which is the body's energetic control system, which is all about making your body's battery as efficient as it possibly can be. And so when we look at that, basically, if you're able to make energy work more efficiently in your body, then you have more energy available to heal. And so, if you take an example like, let's say you're running around, like you're busy seeing your patients, but you've also got your kid at home, you're basically running out of energy. Now, if your energy system, your body's energy control system is super efficient, that doesn't matter. You've basically got plenty of energy. But if it's inefficient and you're running out of energy, and you get below a certain threshold, then you don't actually have enough energy to regenerate and repair, and then you actually end up getting sicker and sicker. So really, the whole thing in bioenergetics is to make sure your body's energy system is efficient, so you have enough energy to heal yourself and to get better.
Amazing. So I would assume there's research behind everything that you're talking about. Can you share some of that with us? Like, how did you find the levels of where disease manifests or energy potential is not there to recover?
Actually, I mean that research has been, goodness, I mean that's been around for 30 odd years on the cell membrane potential. But I think more specifically to us, maybe I'll explain what our company does. So when we're wanting to make the body's energy system more efficient, you basically have to optimize, what we would call a field-based control system. And there's a few control systems of the body, but the main two that people are used to is the chemical-based control system. And every cell has a cell receptor for different molecules. And that's okay, and it works and it's true, but the problem with it is it's very, very slow, because you have to take a drug or a supplement or or food, and it gets processed, travels through the blood, and ends up being picked up by a cell receptor. Now when you think about it, there's 70 trillion cells in the body. Every single cell is operating at 3 trillion cells per second. And for that to actually happen, like 70 trillion times 3 trillion, it actually can't happen through this slow based chemical based system. And you need a system that's actually instantaneous to operate the body and make everything work properly. And that's what we call, you could call it the body field, or the body's energetic control system, or a field based control system, although they all mean the same thing. So, what we're doing at Energy for Life on this is we're both able to read it, and in a way, strangely enough, in medicine, it's no different to, like MRIs, EKGs, ECGs. But the problem in medicine, while they read fields, they actually didn't realize that the fields do something in the body, and you can actually interact back with those fields to basically improve them and enhance the body's control system. And when you do that, again, you basically make the body's system more efficient. And to your original question, like what's the research behind that, I couldn't explain the research without getting through that part. So we've had, well, actually the company's done. I originally met a scientist called Peter Fraser 20, I think 26 years ago now, and he'd been working on mapping out the information fields of the body for 35 years before I met him. So there was that initial body of research. Then obviously we created this system. Seen, I think, 350,000 different patients at this point. Well, not me, but the company as a whole has. So we've got a lot of clinical evidence from that. But the more interesting parts, we teamed up with University of University of California in San Diego, and with Professor Hamel Patel. And he would basically take different types of tissue cultures, and then we would present those tissue cultures with these, like we call them an infoceutical. It would basically, we've imprinted the information, or this field-based information, into the liquid, and then from that we've basically just so then we imprint the culture medium, and then we just measure the effects. And there's a lot of different effects we wanted to know about, but because our company's called, funnily enough, Energy for Life, one of the main areas we're interested in is energy. So we presented, we imprinted the cell cultures with information from the sort of pharmaceutical we call cell driver, and we measured the amount of mitochondrial density, and within the mitochondrial density we saw an increase, well, we saw a 50% increase in a 2-day period, which was pretty amazing. But we also saw a 25% increase in the efficiency, and remember, that's really what we're most interested in, is we want to get, well, this energy system more efficient, because then there's more energy available to heal. So we saw a 25% increase in the efficiency, i.e. you feed the same amount of sugar into the cell culture, but you get 25% more energy output. So that's, that's amazing actually. We also saw a protective, well, we saw a 67% protective rate from reactive oxygen species. Basically, we poison the cell with hydrogen peroxide, but 67% was protected versus the control that was unimprinted. There's a lot of other experiments as well. So we did some with like lung tissue, because everyone was fascinated with COVID. So basically infect lung tissue with COVID. And we saw a 46% reduction in the viral penetration rate. So i.e. it would slow down the virus by 46% penetrating into the lung tissue. And we've done ones with neural stem cells as well. Done another one with just skin grafts, where we've basically injured skin tissue and then increased the cellular proliferation rate, basically speeding up the repair process of the skin. And that one is, well, quite useful for having youthful skin when you're 50. But
Yes, I know all
so
about
you
being
know
fit.
all about that. You know what? Yeah, no, yeah.
Well, I
Yeah.
actually have this graph of your research, so I am going to just pop it up on the screen because I think it's pretty amazing just to take a look at your infoceuticals and what you were talking about with your clinical trials. I think 50% increase on mitochondrial energy, 25 on efficacy and efficiency of the cell. This is your viral protection. So this looks like this was the research that you pulled from San Diego, UC San Diego, correct?
That is, yeah, that's correct. That's the one done with, well, cell driver and immune driver. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay, very interesting. One of the things I wanted to ask you about was the application of your software. It looks like you have different systems. You have wearables. So can you kind of go through all of the different applications that practitioners can use? And how did you make this, I don't know, available and just understandable to the world in general?
I gave a really bad version of my story at the beginning, but I'll sort of cut into that to sort of explain how we got there. So we had these various climbing accidents. Now those climbing accidents led to us being bedridden for 7 years, and we tried absolutely everything from functional medicine, coffee enemas, Holder, Clark, um, you know, you you name it. Well, we basically pursued all this that sort of normal detoxification type routes and anti-parasite viral da 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 da. But we didn't get anywhere. And after about 6 years of that, I suddenly thought, like, why don't I study where energy came from? And it was through that that I came across Professor Peter Fraser, who's in Australia, who'd been mapping out the human body field. Um, and I said to him, I was like, look, wouldn't it be amazing if we could create this system that could help people from their own home? But Peter, I think I know how to do the analysis side, but I have no idea how to get anyone better. Oh, and by the way, I'm pretty much bedridden and totally sick myself. So he actually ended up emigrating from Australia, moved to England. He ended up, he was making us all the original pharmaceuticals. He healed me. We ended up forming this R&D company, and we did like another 10 years of R&D in England before we moved to the States, I think 14 years ago. And basically we ended up making that range of pharmaceuticals that cover all the different organ systems, meridians, different emotional factors, different viral terrains, etc. And along with that, we created this system where you could do a voice scan, which, I know there's a link that we can give everyone, but basically with this voice, with this voice link, you can basically analyze where in your body field it's distorted, i.e., like where is the breakdown in your body's control system, where is your body field inefficient, and from that you can then just basically take the right infoceuticals, which obviously now you can get from Get Healthy, and that's basically how that works. Yeah.
It's amazing. So basically, by taking the infoceuticals, you're actually increasing your potential for your body to heal itself through the energetic pathway. And then you can add in, as you were talking, the chemical-based pathway, which would be supplements, food, pharmaceuticals if needed. So very interesting complementary approach. I love it. You do have the voice scan and the gem, correct? Is this a emotional energy detector? What does that do?
Sorry, the which one? The wearable.
Yeah, the wearable.
Oh, just one little thing. When I send a message, it only goes to host and panelists.
Oh, okay. Would you like to
I
send a
don't know why.
message to everybody else?
Yes, please. Yeah. Well, then I can send a link to that voice scan. But
Oh,
it's
absolutely.
nesthealth.com/get healthy.
Yes, we can repost that to everybody. So we'll have Kat do
Easy,
that.
easy.
Okay.
Yeah. So the wearable. So basically, the wearable is able to detect, correct, and protect your energy and emotions. And God, there's a number of amazing advances with that. But I think there's a couple that are quite interesting. So one, you can take this infoceutical idea and we can basically imprint the blood directly using that wearable. But the really cool thing is it's personalized based on your pulse. Um, and so in Chinese medicine, you can pick up 29 different pulses, and we've worked out algorithms that will basically classify which pulse is coming up. So for instance, let's say someone has a wiry pulse in Chinese medicine. Well, that would mean that you're angry or frustrated, like it's to do with like liver qi being a bit off. Or if someone has a damp pulse, that's normally related to like spleen, pancreas, or etc. So we've basically taken those TCM concepts and then applied them to these emotional characteristics. But at the same time, the wearable is always correcting from its readings. And I say it, and it's the same. We actually used that wearable. Well, actually, we did two sets of experiments at UCSD. We used the wearable to imprint the tissues, but and then we also used our liquid infoceuticals. And in the end, it's the same thing because it's the blueprint, it's the informational blueprint that we've recorded in both cases.
Okay. And so you also offer, it looks like coaching, education, and what is is it My Health?
Um, yes, yes. So the My Health, that device that does an awful lot of things. Well, we've basically got a new My Health coming, but I guess no one knows what the old My Health is on this webinar. But the basically the My Health. So because we fractured our spine all those years ago, our infoceuticals were able to get our energy and health back, but actually we still had all of this pain and injuries in our back. So we basically wanted to create a device that would help regenerate tissue and stimulate healing. So that was the original thinking of the My Health. But what's really amazing about it, it combines like any other type of electrical therapy device. It's basically just putting in a frequency, or just putting in a signal, and it's basically static, and it never adapts. And the insight that we had was that the body the body will get used to anything, but if you read the response of the body and change the signal in line with the body's response, then the body doesn't get used to that signal, so you elicit a much stronger healing response. And then the other thing is, just like the wearable and our infoceuticals, you can also deliver that specific information in on top of that signal. So basically, we deliver information that will help regenerate tissue and help. Well, actually, I mean, there's 76 different effects it can do, and also you don't have to. You can have it on body, but you can also actually have it in a mode called off body, because you can use PMF to broadcast that information into the body as well. So that's like on the sort of the correction or the treatment side.
Hmm.
But it also will read your pulse, so it knows how the body's responding. It's also reading the body's impedance in real time. So say it's adjusting the treatment and the signals due to the impedance reading. But it can also actually do a full scan, a bit like our voice scan. So we can also scan the whole body and see exactly where you need to place the My Health to get the best results. I mean, it's honestly, it's like a Star Trek trirecorder, and we've made well, actually, we're just about to launch a different, I'd say the next latest version in 4 weeks, which is the pitch you've got up there. But yeah, I mean, the existing one's really good too, but the next one's just a little bit sleeker.
A little sleeker, looks a little sleeker. So you got a wearable, you have a voice scan, we have the infoceuticals that you can do orally. You also have the My Health device that is basically a handheld device that you can move over injuries, etc. It also has the capabilities of doing scans. And then it looks like you have a light bed as well. Tell me a little bit about that.
I mean, actually, we license to a number of companies, so our voice technology and the wearable technology. So when you've done a scan, I've got one in my garage actually, but you can basically go up to these light beds, and it changes and imprints your whole body with the right information based on your scan. So
Wow.
there's a company called ARC, which is AARC,
Mhm.
that license that technology. Immortal are meant to be, but it's not quite integrated properly. And there's another new company that's not quite in there called Luminati. But yeah, I'd say yeah, right now, if you want to buy it, the Arc is the place to buy that bed.
Yeah, so very, very amazing, all of the research that you've done. So tell us a little bit about the future of bioenergetics and how can people experience this with you and Zenergy?
So Zenergy, it's like we've been putting together this event for 2.5 years actually, and how will I put it? So the normal types of events for practitioners, they are full of education, dry lectures, and we all have to sit in our chairs and get a little bit bored, even though the knowledge might be good. So what I thought was really much more important is to actually help practitioners to heal and get a direct experience of all the technology and the actual knowledge. So we're basically integrating all of the clinical knowledge, but we're doing it in a very fun and entertaining way. So we actually have a full gospel choir there, World Funk Orchestra, Liquid Bloom. We've got Barry Goldstein, who did all the music for Joe Dispenza for 10 years. We're imprinting the whole room with the information and all these effects. So you basically get healed. And I also spent 3 years putting together this whole philosophy called GIST, that stands for gratitude, intention, surrender, and trust. And then we took that philosophy, written songs for it, had it written to music, and I say that's what this band, the band is playing all the music, and we're basically taking people through this, calling it an annotation, but it's somewhere between music and a meditation. So yeah, it's definitely a one-off type event. But we've got speakers like Dave Asprey and Dr. Julia Frost, who was the she was actually the pioneer who brought a lot of electrotherapy ideas to the West. She actually smuggled it all out of Russia originally into England, and now some of that education's in the States. We've got Heart Mass there. We've got the Brave Thinking Institute, Jennifer Joy there. There's a whole bunch of interesting speakers. Dr. Catherine Clinton, who's speaking on quantum biology. Um, but yeah, it's sort of a blend of the experience with all the clinical knowledge. I I think I know for everyone at Get Healthy, I believe we've got 40% off the tickets, but it's when you go to that page, it's already got the 40% off. And that link is
Well, that's
zenergyconference.com/get healthy, but I'll type it in here.
yeah, absolutely. There's also a QR code if you want to scan it, and I think Kat can probably pop it into the chat. This conference sounds like it's going to be highly interactive and highly healing, so I would suggest that practitioners go because it's very rare that we do something for ourselves. And then also to get to experience everything that Zenergy has to offer, I think is going to be
Well, yeah,
amazing.
and I mean, I didn't really mention, but say we're launching the wearable at My Health
Oh, okay.
and that light bed, like they're all being launched at that event as well. So yeah, it's definitely a bit of a. It's not that we're not going to have future events, but it's definitely a bit of a one-off special.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we have a few slides here of before and after. Do you want to tell us a little story about some of these, just so people know this works, what your device does and how it can be extremely beneficial, even to animals, it looks like.
An animal disappeared.
He's coming
Disappeared.
back,
He's coming back. He's
he's
coming
coming
back.
back. Okay.
Um. Okay. So yeah. So this is I believe I'm trying to remember the name of this dog actually. Anyway, it's a Belgian Shepherd, but basically, he had Addison's, and he was puking. I believe it was like every 20 minutes, just continually. The vet said, "Look, you really just should just put your dog down. It's not really going to survive or have a miserable life." It was in Austria, so and she had a friend, another friend vet who had a My Health. So anyway, so she changed vets, went to friend, and basically did a My Health treatment, and the then dog didn't puke for 5 hours after the treatment. She's like, that's just amazing. So it was just puking all the time. So bought a My Health, and basically the dog stopped puking, and this is a picture of her 6 months later, just running around completely cured. But that's a dog story. That you must have human. Do you have human
I do. I
pictures?
have a
Oh yeah,
human.
okay. This is a
Okay.
more relatable human one. So yeah, this is somebody that had severe psoriasis that had it for 9 years, tried every frigging drug, um, holistic thing, cream, everything you could possibly think of. They were actually on the verge of committing suicide because it was so painful. It's basically like constant burning, and it was all over their arms, all over their chest, all over their back. And yeah, actually, this they used the My Health and Infoceuticals. And anyway, the picture on the right is just 3 months later, and it's never come back.
That's unbelievable. Incredible work. So it looks like you're giving away a personalized voice scan for free with Bioenergetics. So if you want to scan that code, if people would like to do that, I have done it. It's an incredibly interesting software. All of the fields that it measures, all of the output that you get, and all the information. So incredible. So everybody can do that. I don't know if we have a link for that too that we can drop in the chat in case someone doesn't have the ability to scan that QR code. We can do that for them. So just to finish up our webinar, the reason that we did this tonight, we were very excited to learn when Zenergy was actually going to be available on the Get Healthy platform, their infoceuticals. So if you have this software, you'll be able to not only directly script these infoceuticals to your patients and
That's not
clients.
true, actually. You can get them anyway.
Oh yeah,
Um,
you
I
can
think
get them.
you
Yeah,
can get them on your platform anyway. That's the point. Yeah,
that's right. That's right. You can get them anyway. But if you have the software, it's
it
even
will
a
be
better
better.
benefit
It'll be better.
to
Yeah.
get. Absolutely. And so if you want to embrace this software, you want to use this technology in your practice, I would suggest that you reach out to Harry's team at Zenergy directly so that they can get you set up with an account. Make sure you get the scan, make sure you get the My Health. It's all very valuable and it's going to be life-changing, I assure you. And don't forget to obviously register for the Zenergy conference. The link is actually in the chat. So please do that. You'll get 40% off. That link will take you directly there. The 40% is applied. And so it's a great deal and it's going to be a great time and a great way to meet people that are like-minded and to actually get a little bit of self-health, I think, for a weekend. So it's going to be good.
Perfect.
Any other comments you want to leave us with or anything that I missed tonight?
No, I mean, does anyone have any questions or anything?
Let me run up through the chat for you.
I
I always say you did such a good job. No one has any questions.
Hmm.
Let people just take a second to type their question. And if anything comes in on the Q&A, let me know, Kat, because I can't see that one. All right, well, I have a few questions because I've used your scan a couple of times. So just using the device, the My Health, is it best to scan first to have the frequency and then output? And how often do you have to use that same frequency output for somebody? What would you suggest?
It totally depends what's going on. There's no prescriptive answer, but in general,
See, they have
so
the same question, Harry. How many
the
times?
same question. So I mean, so to bet, like, if you've just injured yourself and you've got an acute issue, I would be like doing it 3, 4 times a day just to blast that through for a few days and it'll go. Um, if it's something chronic, once a day is honestly fine.
Okay. And how do you overcome the reluctance for people who don't believe in something like this or that it can work?
I would just say just do it, right? Because what's the reluctance? I mean, so if something's risky, like taking a pharmaceutical is basically risky because of toxic side effects. All this is mineral water from a chemical point of view, or in the My Health or wearable. All it's doing is transmitting information. Obviously, we've studied it for a very long time. It's been used on 350,000 patients over a 20+ year period. So it's extraordinarily safe. So I would just say just try it because literally there's no risk but only a lot of massive upside. And it depends what type of brain you are, but I mean, if you're into research, go and read our research on the company website. Let's say, I mean, the voice scan, you can literally just try it for free anyway. So yeah, I would. And then also, if you go and use the voice scan, there's also a whole free course in bioenergetics, and we, explain in detail how everything works.
Wonderful. Yeah, and I've come up against that too. People saying, how do you know this works? Well, how do you know your statin's going to extend your life? You could get hit by a bus tomorrow. So, and you're also taking a risk on side effects. So it's just more of, being confident in what you are practicing and being able to present it in a way that makes people feel safe and heard. And as you said, the proof is in the pudding and there's no risk at trying it, right? If you can do a free link for a scan, or you can just do one session of the My Health for somebody, they probably will see great results. All right, well, it doesn't look like there's any other questions. Oh, wait, yes, there is. Are there new features in the new My Health device? And which red light therapy bed from ARC LED model was that in the picture you showed? There's like 3 questions in here. I'll come back to the next ones
Okay.
then.
One of the yeah. So in the new My Health, it's basically got pulse. It's also got laser diodes in between the electrodes, so it's helping to put more energy into the tissue. It's built on a whole Android system, so we can have all the video help files straight built into the device. God, what else is different about it? I mean, they're the main things, but I mean, it's it's basically a better user experience, and it's got a better analysis, and it's putting a bit more energy into the tissues. So that's that one. God, which
Okay.
arc? I think all their models. I'm trying to remember their names, their models. I think they have an RFQ. I know it's in the RFQ. It's definitely in their Elysium. Um, but you can just you can just ask Mike, if you know Mike there. Just say, I want the stuff from Energy for Life and Harry, and he'll make sure you get the right one.
Say, Harry said to give you a big discount.
I've got nothing to do with how he prices things. That's his company.
So the price point will be relatively the same for the new upgraded My Health.
It's like $500 more than the new My Health. I mean, I think at this point I would just get the new one. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Wavelength and what colors of light are in the new My Health, please?
That's it. Yeah, it's basically red. I mean, it's basically red light.
Okay. And I assume that the application works with an iPhone or no?
Um, the wearable, yes. Yep.
Wearable. Okay.
Yep. I mean, the My Health's totally built into its own device. The screen and operating system's built in. It is all. It does have actually both Bluetooth and Wi-Fi. So when you're looking at the whole scan, so if you're doing the whole so we call it BWS, stands for Bioenergetic Wellness System, but it's basically this whole platform that has all of the 700 different scan results. So you can sync it to your iPad or your computer to see everything, and then if you want to send either infoceuticals digitally or in you can send them digitally to a patient's wearable. You can also send them the physical real product. So, but that's like your whole control system you use a computer for, but you don't, they work independently and together, I guess is the best way of saying that.
Awesome.
And the iPhone, we do all the voice scan stuff for your iPhone. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now they're asking for price.
I believe, well, I know, I guess I shouldn't believe. It's 5,000, but it's 4,500 at Zenergy, or I guess dash before Zenergy. But yeah. But I would honestly recommend, if you're really interested in all this stuff, I would come to Zenergy for a bunch of reasons, because obviously we're educating everyone about all of these products in detail and giving an amazing experience. And yes, some of these products are the My Health is a little bit cheaper at Zenergy. I don't know about the rest of it, but yeah.
Mhm. They do
Yeah.
have an entire training academy in the back of the admin of their software. So it's great if you have an account, and there's some videos that you can go and learn more about it as well on their website. They're asking for training for practitioners that they can embrace if they're not going to attend Zenergy.
Sorry, I didn't hear that.
I
So,
said, is there any training for practitioners if they're not trained, if they're
oh
not doing?
yeah, no, yeah, no, everything's online. Everything's online. Yeah, I mean, this is a bit of a one-off launch event. You absolutely don't have to go to Zenergy, but because it's a one-off launch event, it's also really special. So I'd recommend you go to it.
Yeah, absolutely. So, well, thank you so much for your time tonight. We're really excited to be partnering with your team and you personally. Everything that you've built is amazing. And thanks for contributing, to our entire health spectrum for practitioners, giving them one more tool and one more way to help somebody get better. So, guys, if you are looking for this product, please go visit their website. Also, don't forget to register for that Zenergy event. I promise you, you won't be sorry. It's going to be an incredible time. Do it for yourself. Do the one thing for yourself this year. That should be it for sure. Plus, there's going to be amazing deals there. So if you're looking for these devices and software, that's the place to go. Pick up what you need, the education, meet the people. It's going to be great. We will be back next month with another webinar. And for tonight, if you watch this webinar, we're going to make sure that you get the replay. And thanks, Harry, for being here and taking the time to spend with us.
Cool. Thank you. Easy.
Thanks, guys. Have a good evening.